Meeting called to order. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Chapman.
Here.
Councilmember Clayton.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Here.
Mayor Moore.
Here.
Please stand for a silent prayer, a moment of reflection. We will now salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As to comply with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. The annual notice was forwarded to the Asbury Park Press, the Coaster, and the Star Ledger on January 3rd, 2023, and posted on the bulletin board the same date. All notices are on file with the city clerk. We're now on to special events applications.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. There's just one application before you, and that's for the Eid prayer and celebration in Springwood Park. The wedding application will not be considered. That's been removed from the agenda. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Felicia.
Thank you.
We're now on to items to be presented. We have a presentation by Asbury Park Apartments and Resorts LLC for redevelopment of 201 6th Avenue, Block 4201, lots 2, 6, and 7.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and ladies and gentlemen of the council. My name is Kevin Kennedy. I'm an attorney in Red Bank, and I'm here tonight on behalf of Asbury Park Luxury Apartment and Resort LLC. We are honored and excited to be here. I thank you for allowing us to be on tonight's very busy agenda. We will be very brief. My client is a proposed subsequent developer. As you're aware, your process, a fairly elaborate process in the city. iStar consented to our application. We submitted applications to Michelle Alonso, who has been very, very helpful. We had a presentation, rather extensive presentation before the TRC. The TRC conditionally approved our application. The next step is for this very brief informal presentation to you with the end result. Our hopeful end result is that you will all give us a positive thumbs up, which will allow the process to begin to have an ordinance adopting, authorizing us to be a subsequent developer and authorizing the execution of a subsequent developer agreement. Mr. Mayor, my challenge is, I don't want to offend you by giving too much information. I don't want to offend you by giving you too little, but we are going to be very, very
He's going to be mad either way, Kevin.
and very, very brief. Just for the record, by the numbers, or real quick brief information, we only have 3 people to speak, and all very brief. The properties are 201 6th Avenue, 1509 Kingsley Street, and 1511 Kingsley Street. What we're looking to do is residential condominiums, all for sale, 98 units, 152 parking spaces, totally compliant with regard to the parking spaces. We're going to comply with the electric vehicle parking requirements, and at the request of the TRC, they wanted us to say that the electrical vehicle math gives you some discretion to discount some of your parking. The TRC did not want us to do that, so we are having totally compliant parking, and I think that's important. I'm going to turn it over to Yohei Albo. He is the face of our company. He is a wonderful individual, resident of West Long Branch, significant experience in the building and developing world. I think he's developed over 2,000 units, over 2 million square feet of construction, including residential and hotels and mixed-use buildings. And most importantly, he's a brand new father as of 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's just going to be the face of our project, so I wanted to bring him up very briefly, and then we're just going to turn it over to our architect to hopefully wow you with some of the pictures. We have our engineer here to answer any questions, but I don't think there will be any questions, but we have him. So, Yohei, why don't you come on up? Sure.
Hello. Okay. Anyway, Honorable Mayor, Council, and residents, how are you? My name is Yohei Albo. I moved to West Long Branch about 10 years ago. I came here about 19 years ago to the Berkeley Hotel, a year after I got married. I was broke. Came here with a little honeymoon with my wife, then we fell in love with the Jersey Shore. And we knew we wanted to move here at some point when we were raising our kids. And this opportunity came up a while back, a couple of years ago, and I love Asbury Park. I think it's a great location. Asbury, Long Branch, Edentown, all of these areas are places where our kids play, the beaches that we go to and so forth. When I saw this opportunity, I really jumped on it. And Asbury Park, having the history that it does, and like those pictures behind you, right? And architecturally where Asbury is and where it could be, we came with this opportunity to try to put something beautiful. It's something that will anchor itself. This is really at the beginning, the northern side of Asbury Park as you go into it from the lake. And it's diagonally from a landmark, the Berkeley Hotel. And the objective was to create something that embraces the lifestyle of the ocean, proposes long-term residence. These are mostly three families, three bedrooms, two bedrooms, and one bedroom. Architecturally, we were looking for Mediterranean modern style, something that will kind of adhere to what locally has been done, such as the Ocean Club and some of the new residents done by iStar. And without further ado, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here and to hopefully present this project to you. And we'd like to give it over to the architect at this point.
Thank you. Dan, why don't you come on up? This is Dan Zanetta from Mode Architects, and this is Matt Wilder, our engineer. Again, Matt will not be testifying unless there's questions. So Dan, why don't you just describe briefly what we're looking at and what the proposal is, what the concept is, number of units, materials, all in a nutshell.
Sure. Matt, can you go to the next one? There you go. So this map here illustrates the project site with a little more context so you can get a good idea of where exactly it's located. We're at the corner of Kingsley and 6th Avenue, and it's a site that is an odd shape. We have frontages on 7th and Webb Street as well. It's the site of the former Oceanic Hotel and a small adjacent property on Kingsley Street. It's located within the Waterfront Redevelopment District. This is a view, again, of the site from above. You can see the North Beach condominiums to the right, Kingsley Street running north and south right there. It's a proposed condominium building. Kevin gave you some of the stats already. 98 dwelling units proposed. The building massing complies with the redevelopment requirements, so it's 8 stories proposed above ground, 1 story below. We have 2 levels of parking, 1 below grade level and 1 above, a total of 152 parking spaces proposed, which Kevin mentioned already exceeds the redevelopment plan requirement, and we are not proposing to utilize the deduction available for the electric vehicles. To achieve the parking, we're utilizing stackers, which allow each vehicle to be accessed independently, so we don't have to move a car out to get a car up. Every tenant will have access to their vehicle automatically. Some of the amenities within the building include an indoor pool. Matt, if you want to go up. That's the below grade parking. Here, some of the amenity spaces are green roof areas, a fitness center, community space, indoor pool. There's lounge areas, a community room. Also in the parking level, there's bicycle storage and tenant storage. So each of the tenants has a space where they can store their beach umbrellas, surfboards, things like that. On the upper floor, we have 10 units with mezzanine penthouses and private roof terraces. Typical floor plan here for the upper floors. As you go up, you can see where the access to the rooftop happens within the units. And then the next slide, penthouses with private roof terraces. Now each unit has its own private balcony. If we go to the next, now we see the exterior of the building here. So really going for a coastal contemporary feel, referencing some of the streamlined modern architecture, which is specifically called out in the redevelopment plan as an accepted style. We're doing things to accentuate the base of the building with the contrasting color. It's a taller base and 7 stories above, rounded corners. We have a dramatic sloped cornice on the building with a planter above. Okay, if you want to just flip through some of the images here. Another view. This is along, looking at the 6th Avenue elevation. Blow up here of the entry at the corner of Kingsley and 6th, the main entrance. A view of the private balconies that have views to the ocean. Again, along Kingsley, this is where the building steps down, and this is how we dealt with the massing to conform with the redevelopment plan requirements. And this is a view of one of the townhouse scaled units along 7th Avenue. And again, just another view at nighttime. And if anyone has any questions, we can.
So, Mr. Mayor, that is the gist of our presentation. Obviously, we're here for any questions that you want or any comments.
Let's start off with an easy question. What are the dimensions of the tenant storage spaces?
We don't have those specifically planned out just yet, but if Matt goes to the low grade, the next one down. If you go down one page. Sorry. You'll see there's areas designated as storage and utility. So there's ample space where we can put storage lockers for each unit, as well as utility spaces that we would need.
But the dimensions haven't been figured out.
We haven't finalized the dimensions of that yet.
And then one thing, and I think it's a big deal, but I see on the pictures, it's called the Bradley. We already have a complex in Asbury Park called the Bradley.
Correct. We got excited about the name when we saw the statue and we said, oh, this would be a great name. And then we realized we started searching that it was already kind of taken. So yes, we have to figure out another good Asbury Park name.
You're gonna just confuse the mailman.
Yes, great, apologies. The storage space, by the way, is approximately around 10,000 square feet in total, and we'll figure out how it makes sense to divide it among the tenancies.
Right, okay. Questions?
You want me to go? Yeah, so can you give me a ballpark on like floor to ceiling feet?
Floor to ceiling, I think we have a floor to floor height of 12 foot, and then we'd have a structure of about a foot. So I think.
So plus or minus, it's going to be a superstructure. We're not doing a light gauge frame or anything as such. So it is a superstructure. So floor to floor is we're proposing 12 feet, and then there will be obviously 8 inches designated for slab, plus accommodating for floor build up, plus some drop down ceilings. So you're looking at 10 and a half feet to 11 feet interior space dimensions.
Okay, so about 12-ish feet.
Correct.
So most of the buildings from floor to ceiling in Asbury are about 9 feet. At least the buildings that I had our planner send to me. So when you're doing these 12 feet, right, from floor to ceiling, you're getting a lot more height because the stories are a lot bigger. So I voted no on the last project by the Wonder Bar because it feels like a little bit of gaming the system on height. So when you do these 12 feet, and I'm not saying you're not compliant with the waterfront redevelopment plan, I know that you are because we don't define it. I don't love that. I don't love that you go to 12 feet when the average floor to ceiling is about 9 because you get 24 feet. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have to agree with me, but you understand what I'm saying.
100%.
Okay.
Correct.
And just for my edification, there's no affordable, right? No affordable units.
We're paying towards the, correct.
Correct.
And these are rental units or
No,
these for sale?
these are all condos. These are all meant for sale, yes. When we said originally with 5-star, they kind of coached us on what the market is and stuff like that in this area and encouraged that this would be a for sale development versus a rental.
And I started to ask that same question, and we made that same representation.
Okay. And I see that you're proposing a green roof for the parking level, and just wonder what other sustainable initiatives you're planning for this complex.
So I'm the engineer, Matt Wilder. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
The green roof is actually part of meeting our stormwater requirements. So we're dealing with the state as part of the CAFA process and proposing a green roof. We're also implementing underground dry wells in these excuse me, these green space areas that you see sort of where the mouse is. We're implementing underground dry wells for that as well, which are recognized green infrastructure BMP'd by the state. So,
And you're required to do that by the state for stormwater management?
we are. So the
Okay.
regulations recently changed where they require green infrastructure. Green roofs are one of the main things that they typically want to propose, where oftentimes when you're doing, most projects can't accommodate that. We're lucky here we can. But we're also, like I said, putting in underground dry wells to recharge some of the roof runoff, so it doesn't increase the stormwater runoff downstream.
And other than what you're required by the state, are you proposing any other green or sustainable initiatives?
From an engineering standpoint, we're not. I don't know, from an architecture standpoint.
So the one thing we're trying to accommodate, which we know was a big deal, was the EV charging. There's a certain minimum that was requested. And one of the things that we realized is, especially with where the winds are changing, we are actually going to be proposing that the possibility to tap into a charging station for every car eventually. That was one of the things that we saw that it was an issue, a sensitive issue by them in terms of where things are going. In terms of, yes, there's a minimum requirement, but we know where eventually cars will be and stuff like that. And what happens if there's a tenant tomorrow that wants something as such. So one of the things we right away knew that we were going to propose is to run actually lines across all of the parking spaces. So that at any point, if any tenant says, look, I'm really looking to go electric versus my gas car, can I get a tap? They'll be able to tap in and do something as such.
Utilities, gas, electric meters, everything, inside the building, outside the building.
Inside the building on the ground floor, if you see on this level, this is a half level up to accommodate for some of the storm issues, and it's in the center of the building.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that, and because at the planning board level, we have some people come in, we want to put the utilities inside, but the gas company won't let us. And I'm like, you're the second applicant saying everything's going inside, so I think people have been kind of fibbing to the planning board. So I think the planning board's got to do better due diligence and give us a letter that the utilities won't let you put stuff inside
Correct.
instead of outside. And then going back to what Eileen was talking about, as far as like, it's going to go a long way, especially at the planning board level, like to get to the LEED certification. We're not saying get there because we know how costly it is, but I know you're going to have to do more than what you're proposing.
Yeah, I think as we develop the design further, we can certainly investigate using renewable resources and materials. There's things we could do to the concrete structure by using fly ash in the concrete instead of Portland cement. We can certainly investigate all those green opportunities as we
Right.
develop the design.
And anything energy efficient to reduce the carbon footprint as far as like, the low volume flush toilets, everything like that. So anything like you can do there will definitely help your application. Sure.
The stackers that you're using, are they going to be operated by your residents, or is there going to be an attendant?
They're operated by the residents, so it's a fully automated system where you would come to the section that you parked your car and you swipe your card, and then the system will move and shift the cars as it needs to pull your car out, and then you simply get in and drive away.
Interesting.
So, yeah, there's both systems on the upper and lower parking levels.
And when we get to the planning board, we expect to have demonstrations and videos on how it will work.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this was a sensitive issue during the TRC meeting where there was some tenant parking spaces and stuff like that, and we said, okay, let's try to figure out how to eliminate it. We reached out to a number of companies that specialize in this, and especially, and we found 3 companies that already have 50 years of doing this. We wanted specifically something with a record of doing it, and we were able to, it's costing us, but we're like, okay, but this is nobody's dependent on somebody else. You don't have to do attendant parking. And the objective also, we're trying to, our aim is we realize with some of the costs of the condos, their monthly fees. And the idea is to reduce that because with construction cost and the cost of selling stuff like that, to have also a second mortgage that's called a monthly fee from the building is something that's very burdensome on tenancies, and especially when they're looking to buy something that's not a cheaper product. And so we're trying to figure out, okay, what's the best way to make this building in a way which encourages that it doesn't have to have high maintenance, it doesn't have to end up in such a situation where it becomes a burden on the tenants in the future.
I'd like to ask you a question. What is the cost of the condo units?
So so it depends. The condo units go from 700 square feet to almost 2,000 square feet. Right now, it is a little bit of a volatile market, especially post-COVID, figuring out what the cost per square feet. But we did an assessment, which we submitted in the TRC review, and it's approximately $780 a square foot, which is, starting there, it depends on the unit. Some are oceanfront, some are backup units. So obviously they cost a little different, the units themselves. So it's from, I'm trying to remember the prices. Somewhere from 700,000 probably to somewhere to $1.5 million is where the cost of these units are.
So 700,000 to 1.5.
Correct.
So those that are facing.
I'm not remembering right now of the numbers because I know there was a whole scale on how to number it and to assess these units, but we did submit a report to TRC figuring the pricing on all these units.
How many bedrooms?
So it's actually the majority is 3 bedrooms. We're really trying to encourage long-term, families and comfort. So it's mostly 3 bedrooms. Second to that is 2 bedrooms, and the smallest amount is actually it's only 6 is 1 bedrooms, and there's no studios. So the whole.
I think the exact numbers are 6 1-bedroom, 39 2-bedrooms, and 53 3-bedrooms.
Correct.
Roughly, all subject to.
Correct.
Thank you.
And how far of a setback are you from the curb line?
How
far is the building set back from the curb line?
So, in this particular case, there is no front yard requirement or setback requirement. It is along the street, the same way as the building across the street from us, which was also part of the redevelopment plan. So right now it is part of the scape. What we did was because of the balconies, so we gave it depth because there's wrapping balconies in front of all the tenancies. So the way it works is there's a balcony face, and then you step in, and then that's where the building is. If you go back to the rendering, you'll see that. So essentially, technically all apartments' windows are 5 feet in, and then you have the balconies that accompany them in front. The idea was to also create depth and
Matt, give
mitigate.
some information.
I can give you the exact numbers. So from Kingsley Street, you're about 12 feet from the curb. Along 6th Ave, you're about 25 feet from the curb. On Webb Street, you are about 10 feet. And on 7th Ave, you are about 24 feet.
Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get questions, Jack, this way on here.
Don't stay, you'll get your 3 minutes in the mic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you won't have to stay long, Kevin.
Okay, no problem. Not a problem at all.
We're now on to matters from City Council. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Nothing for me.
Thank you. Councilmember Chapman.
Hi, everyone. I just want to let you know that the Music Monday concerts in Springwood Park begin on June 26th. First concert is Ray Goodman and Brown, along with the Sons of Asbury Park, Nicky Adio and Leon Trent. And I also want you to know that the concert band, which plays on Thursday nights, and used to play on the boardwalk and then in Bradley Park, will now be at the Arthur Pryor Band Shell above Robinson's Ale House for the summer. And they haven't played up there. They did a couple dates last year, but this is the first time they'll be there for the entire summer in a very long time. So we're very excited about that.
Thank you. Councilmember Clayton.
I just want to alert everybody that this weekend is Juneteenth, so there's a legal holiday on Monday, And on the 17th, we will be celebrating Juneteenth in Springwood Park with a number of activities. And also this week, we're celebrating North to Shore with a number of events happening in Asbury Park, both arts, music. So if you go to northtoshore.com, it'll give you a complete list of all the activities that are happening in the city this week. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Quinn.
I'm going to piggyback on Eileen because I just did a list of this. So Asbury has free music 4 nights a week in Asbury Park starting at the end of June. Monday night is Music Mondays, probably one of my favorite events. Tuesdays at the Turf Club. Wednesdays is Asbury Live, which is free music by, they build a stage next to Watermark and Mogo. And then Thursday is the concert series. So 4 nights a week in Asbury Park. Throughout this summer, you're going to get professional free music.
Thank you. Mayor Moore.
Yes, on Friday, June the 2nd, I attended the annual Bauer Awards luncheon for the 200 Club, and 2 of the Asbury Park police officers, there's different recognitions. There's certificate of recognition and accommodation and merit, and the most important one, the most prestigious one is Bauer, and both Officer Michael Hand and Officer Vincent Gargiulo from Asbury Park received the Bauer Award for action they took last year in apprehending an armed suspect and disarming him and bringing the fiasco to a halt with nobody getting hurt. So they were honored, and it was a pleasure to be there to see our police officers honored. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Matters from the city manager.
I have nothing, Lisa.
Thank you. Matters from the city attorney.
Nothing at this time, Lisa.
Thank you. We're now on to public participation. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
Move to open?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public participation portion of the meeting is now open. Any member of the public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and there'll be a 3-minute time limit for each speaker. Again, your name and address.
My name is Pat McGeehan, and I border the property 207th on that development. First of all, I had to ask, there was supposed to be certified letters to everyone about this development, and is at the stage where they should have sent the letter to everybody's neighboring there?
Want to respond to that?
No.
Well, I just keep going then?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I heard Eileen ask about the setbacks. I don't care about the setbacks from the curb. This is zero lot line development. I have no idea how this ever got through a technical review committee with 0 lot line. I've been in real estate for 35 years. I've never seen a building built on 0. It's built right on the property line. I don't know how it had any access to my building. That's 207th. I see K Hovnanian right down the street had a 12.5-foot setback on all their development. I see the Rhythm right next to me, the west of me, on 7th Avenue, had a 10-foot setback around the whole property. I have no idea how this, I've never even seen this before, 0 lot line. Never. This is not good for anyone. I don't understand it. I understand maximizing density, but this maximizing profits, it's overdevelopment. Subterranean parking they talked about with stack parking. Is this in a flood zone? What happens when it's only a block from the ocean? You're gonna have all this subterranean parking possibly flooding right there. I don't understand how that works either. But my biggest thing is the zero lot line development. Like I said, 35 years in real estate, I've never seen this even proposed in any town that I've ever been in. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so this was not a public hearing. This is just a public information session. The planning board will be the place where you'll receive your 200-foot notice.
And I have notes to that certified
Yes,
notice?
yes, absolutely.
Hi, I'm Polly Shilga, 1100 Fifth Avenue, representing Asbury Park Complete Streets Coalition and over 80 residents and numerous groups in Asbury Park opposing New Jersey Department of Transportation railroad crossing closures, in particular the proposed closure at the 6th Avenue crossing. Asbury Park has had a history of division by East and West since its founding, resulting from the intentional design of transportation infrastructure. Train tracks have represented a delineation of economic, social, and racial lines leading to disparities in resources and opportunities between two sides of the city. NJDOT is perpetuating this inequity. In fact, it goes against the basic tenets of the U.S. Department of Transportation, focus on equity in transportation, through the last 3 U.S. administrations. The U.S. DOT aim is to, quote, connect neighborhoods back together by removing, retrofitting, or mitigating transportation barriers such as highways and railroad tracks. An example is the funding for the recent New Jersey Transit pedestrian tunnel in Long Branch, which you may have read about. Asbury Park Complete Streets Coalition focuses on the equitable mobility and access through the city. Improving connectivity will enhance the overall quality of life for all residents, regardless of which side of the tracks that they live on. We don't accept that there's any safety benefit to be gained by closing railroad crossings. Rather, it's clearly a cost savings to NJDOT to avoid upgrading and maintaining those crossings. The closures at Summerfield and Sewell Avenues demonstrate NJDOT disregard for the historical division caused by train tracks. We submit that these crossings should be reopened and all crossings should be upgraded and maintained for safety and equity of access for the people of Asbury Park. Train tracks in Asbury Park have historically represented a very real division in the city. By opposing and preventing railroad crossing closures, we can overcome this barrier and foster a more unified and inclusive community. In summary, a 6th Avenue crossing closure is inequitable and would perpetuate a historic division of Asbury Park, would prevent residents, students, and families from accessing services across the city, the high school fields, and the Culinary Arts Center, part of the Monmouth County Vocational School District, would cause congestion on neighboring intersections and streets and potentially lead to vehicle crashes and injuries and deaths to people walking and rolling, would hinder swift access to calls for emergency vehicles, would cut off access to the boat ramp at Waterworks Park and to Deal Lake Drive and to the waterfront. So my question is, in the next 23 seconds, will the city officially support this opposition and restate your vehement opposition to railroad crossing closures as written in your letter 2 years ago to NJDOT residents and the Board of Ed? Question number 1. And the second question is, will opposition also be expressed to New Jersey legislators? So,
Okay, well,
Go ahead.
we have sent many letters and had many conversations against this, going back to before you were here, and I said, why didn't you get involved with Summerfield Avenue? He said, John, I didn't live here, and that's a good reason, but, they have total sway in it and total say in it, but we got this just before the meeting, so it's dated 6/14/2023, Mayor and City Council. On a phone call on Tuesday, June 13th, 2023, New Jersey DOT staff have informed the City of Asbury Park staff the closure of the 6th Avenue grade crossing, which was originally proposed by New Jersey DOT in 2001, has been postponed. The New Jersey DOT will be beginning a new study process to re-examine at-grade crossings throughout the state and will revisit the discussion of the closing of the 6th Avenue grade crossing once completed. Not at-grade rail crossings will be closed over the, no at-grade rail crossings will be closed over the next few years while the study takes place. However, there is no guarantee 6th Avenue will not be closed in the future. New Jersey DOT will keep the city informed of the study's findings and provide the city details of evaluation taking place, and signed by James Bonanno, Director of Transportation, who had the discussion with them. So right now, 6th Avenue is back off the table, but it's always good to keep the pressure on, so we appreciate your support.
We
and
will.
your group support, and you'll have the city's support that we do oppose this.
Thank you. And I know I have seen the letter that you wrote 2 years ago, and it's great. And I would really love to have your commitment to resend that letter or rewrite and edit the letter. Reach out to the governor. We are actually working on that right now. New Jersey legislators are on this, so we don't want to just be pushed away. Oh, we're not doing it now. We might do it later. So thank you for your support. I know you guys are behind
This
it.
was just breaking news that James had the conversation with them yesterday, and maybe because of your efforts, they're redoing the whole state.
That would be good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Rita Morano, 8th Avenue. I agree with Polly, too. I don't know if there's a petition going around, but we didn't sign it yet. Anyway, I'm back with my hedges. John, you were supposed to get a report from the city manager about the hedges on public property. So is there any solution? I don't understand. This is not a big problem. Everybody is on public property, like that man just said. He said, how many feet from the curb to the building? I thought it was 25 feet, but I'm not sure now. Maybe it's 12 feet. But whatever it is, those hedges are on public property. So what are you going to do about it? It's in the ordinance. I mean, what do we have to do? I'm going back to 2018. I know the wheels of justice move slowly, but how slow? I mean, it's not right. You got pebbles on grass. You got rock stones on grass. You got all kinds of things. And fences. And the hedges are considered a fence. If you read the ordinance, I'm sure our city attorney read the ordinance. I don't understand why the city manager has nothing to say about this. This is a serious problem. You're giving away property. And there's none to give away between the easements and interfaith neighbors taking property for $1. It's not fair. So what are we going to do? I want an answer.
Donna, go ahead.
So I did speak with our Director of Planning and Redevelopment and our Zoning Officer and our Environmental Shade Tree Committee, and they find that there's no violation of the hedges.
It's in the ordinance. It's in the fence ordinance. How can that be?
Rita, I will revisit this with Mr. Pavinsky, and I also will speak to Fred about it. But as you've mentioned, this has been going on for many, many years, since 2018, and I think the answer's been given to you many times, but I'll certainly discuss it with the attorney if you feel there's a violation of the ordinance. But that's the direction that I've been given from our professionals.
I know, but he's a volunteer.
Okay.
He has nothing to say about the law.
I will talk to Fred, Rita. I'll talk to Fred about it. Thanks.
I've talked to Fred about it.
Okay, well.
Fred?
Not now, Rita, but not now, your time's up.
I know, but Fred has something to say.
Fred and I will speak offline, and I'll reach out to you.
Hi, Mayor and City Council. Michael Kushner, 1100 Fifth Avenue. So, John, despite that really encouraging letter you just read, those words, no guarantee, compel me to still voice my concern about Polly's point about the crossing. So, other side of the tracks, he, she, they are from the other side of the tracks. Growing up in the suburbs of South Jersey, I really never understood what that meant. Early 20s, I moved to Houston, Texas, to get involved in a wholesale business from a family friend. Turns out that we're street peddlers. We're doing direct sales, different towns in Texas, selling housewares, goods, and so forth. And a gentleman, older gentleman, Harold Rucker, takes me under his wing, black gentleman. And we go into different towns, and the first town we go into the middle of the town there on Main Street, and he stops a resident, and Harold being an experienced salesperson, a person of color, he really likes to work the underprivileged neighborhoods. And he asked somebody, where's the black neighborhood? And the guy, and the resident was like, I don't know what you mean by that. And he takes out his notebook, and he says, white neighborhood, railroad tracks, black neighborhood. And sure enough, in the 2 years I was down there, every town that we went into was bifurcated by railroad tracks with a distinct economic delineation between one side of those tracks and the other side of tracks. And all of a sudden, at that moment, I not only knew what it meant when they say somebody's from the other side of the tracks, but I knew the origin of that statement. These railroad tracks are never going to go anywhere. I know that. And certainly the demographic of Asbury Park has changed. It's diverse. I live west of the tracks. But optics matter. The history of Asbury Park matters. And to me, the message it sends, despite the inconvenience and the traffic, all legitimate concerns, that's what really matters, especially with the history of this city. So my ask is not only to do what Polly's asking about, to continue to voice your vehement opposition to this, but I say, what the hell, go for it. Let's reopen Summerfield and Sewell. They look like hell. And let's really do a PR campaign. Let's go to the papers. Let's go to Phil Murphy's office. Loves this town. Not a lot in Monmouth County to love him back, but this town does. If you rattle enough cages, I think we could really make some, take those words, no guarantee, out of there. I thank you.
Thank you, and just historically, Sewell has always been cut off. I mean, that's nothing new. To say, let's reopen Summerfield Avenue, I think we'd all, I got nothing better to do, be thrown in jail. I mean, so if we went out there with torches and cut down their guard railings, I think it would be quite a commotion. So I'd rather do it the diplomatic way and.
I'm not proposing breaking the wall, but really getting the pressure on them.
Yeah, okay. Hey, before we go on 1 second, just out of courtesy to the people that made the presentation, if there's anybody that has any more questions for the presentation on 6 and Kingsley, let them go first. So these gentlemen don't want to sit here all night. So do any of you have any questions about 6 and Kingsley? Or any comments or anybody in the audience? If not, Kevin, you and your group are home free.
Keep it open.
Thank you. And thank you for holding up a second. Thank you.
You can go ahead.
You're good.
Oh, I can go?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, my name is Rhiannon Long. I live on 807 6th Avenue, and I'm very relieved to hear what you just read. But it does seem to me that the other two, 5th and 1st, weren't really mentioned. And I really want to bring up 6th Ave because I live 2 houses in from the track. And it seems to me that that particular one, if one of them is going to go, it's going to be that one. It's the first one in from town, coming from the north. And I live 2 houses in, so I'm personally very concerned. I've lived there for 13 years. I have never witnessed or heard about a train crash involving a train and a pedestrian, train and a car, train and a bicyclist. So I'm thinking it's not really safety, the study or the sighting is. I think it's more of money. And it makes sense because it is the first one in, but I don't want to be cut off. And also I honestly do not want to look at a really long rusty fence that will literally collect trash from both the ball field and from McDonald's, and weeds will grow. I don't want to look at it. We're paying all this property tax. I don't want to see that ugliness. I really don't. The other thing is too, especially in today's world, all these school shootings, why are we going to close a street off that is access to a school when the nearest first responder may be coming in from over by Deal area, and now they have to go all the way around? Sorry. Yeah, I just really am opposed to it. Thank you.
No, thank you, and thank you very much. And I agree with you. It's maybe a little bit about safety, but the bottom line is about money. Because if, say, there's like 100,000 railroad crossings in New Jersey, if they can shut down 5,000 of them, maybe they just cut down like what? How much percent of their insurance liability? So just out of curiosity, did you get the letter we sent to every resident within 200 feet?
I did.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm glad, just because we did send it to everybody, and thank you, and we agree with you, and we're gonna do what we can to stop it, but sometimes DOT is just tough to work with, but I think it got a little bit easier this afternoon when I read an email, so we'll see what happens.
And I hope that it continues to stay.
Okay, and we'll keep everybody apprised, or I know Polly will too, so everybody will stay in the loop, but thank you for coming tonight.
Hi, my name is Mimi Jen. I also live on 807 6th Avenue.
Can you repeat your name? I'm sorry.
Mimi Jen.
Thank you.
I live on 807 6th Avenue. I can see firsthand, first of all, I'm opposed for that railroad crossing on 6th Avenue. I can see firsthand as people going by and going to McDonald's and Quick Check, and they don't have cars. I know, because I know who they are. I lived there for about 15 plus years, so I do say hi to them. And imagine them carrying bags, shopping bags or food bags, going from a few blocks back to, Holly Apartments. To you, a few blocks could be, oh, that's nothing, but imagine you're older and you can't walk that well, and maybe the heat, or in the wintertime when it's really cold. I really can't imagine that because I have a car. I don't need to walk. But when I do see them struggle, I'm like, wow, that's, it's a shame. And now, if there was a crossing, and hope that there won't be, it tells everybody in town, and even them, that, hey, you know what, we don't really respect you. We don't want you. And any way you can go about your business, you deal with it. And I don't think that's what Asbury Park, the town of Asbury Park, is all about. So I'm glad to hear that letter was being read. And again, I'm opposed to it, and I'm hoping that it'll stay open. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate you coming tonight and voicing your opinion.
Hi, Sylvia, Asbury Park Chamber of Commerce. First, thank you all for talking about the North to Shore and all of the free professional music that we have 4 days a week here. We're really very excited for that program. This might be the pilot year for North to Shore, but we're hopeful that this is going to end up being an annual event that attracts more people to see all of the wonderful things in Asbury. And then to bridge from that, when they come here, it would be really good if they would still be able to cross the tracks at all three of those locations. I was away during your last meeting, but I watched it, and it's astonishing. And I know that just from personal experience, I grew up in Long Branch, and when New Jersey Transit closed the tracks on Chelsea and over Morris Avenue, all but killed those small businesses there, which were Tony's Pizza was, and Silver Dollar. So I opened up the study and looked at, I did a quick analytics of it, and I know I'm not telling you guys anything that you don't already know, but from the Chamber of Commerce perspective, those businesses that are there near Fifth Avenue, they weren't there when this study began. The whole neighborhood, as far as commerce goes, has changed there. And when I started looking at exactly who they were closing and where, it seems extremely disproportionate. It looks like from the top 20 in the state, 60% of them are in Monmouth County, and out of the Monmouth County, 25% of them are in Asbury Park. And it's the disproportionate data points include like density per square mile. If I'm comparing ourselves with our county and then the other locations in this county that are also slated for closures, possible closures, the comparison shows poverty level and household income and population per square mile is, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you all of the data points because it really is astonishing. So I called the DOT commissioner. I'm hoping to have a phone call with her on behalf of the chamber. If I do end up getting an audience to speak with her. I will take all of the notes down and follow that up with copying you, Donna, on it. But some of these things, like the average income household here is $54,000. These other ones, $120,000 in Spring Lake, and they're seeing one. And the safety issues, there's one crash that they recorded. I don't know how closing those three things can be appropriate.
Time's up. No, I appreciate it. And
I will
there's no
copy Donna on
Okay.
everything.
Thanks, Sylvia.
There's nobody from DOT in the audience, right?
No, no one's here.
But, we've been debating this for years with DOTs, first with Summerfield and now 6. And the thing that really cracks me up, if people want to take a ride by, go look at Summerfield Avenue, how they closed it down, and go to Owners and look and see how they closed down. You talk about a tale of two cities. I mean, ugly ass railing and beautiful wood. I mean, so it's just like, the state, come on, give Asbury Park some love. So, yes, sir.
Ron Angeles, 1603 4th Avenue. I'm here on behalf of Super Pedestrian, the company that operates Link Scooters. I oversee the local staff and manage our operations center. I'm here today in support of a proposal for a curfew extension from 1 hour from 10 to 11 p.m., which will help bolster our local transportation network and help more people get home at night. First, I want to offer some brief comments on our work in Asbury Park to date. Super Pedestrian has operated here since May of 2021. Our program has been very successful, and we've served over 210,000 rides in the past 2 years. We have a top-notch mechanic keeping our scooters in great condition, and my field staff proactively ensure that our scooters are kept real neat and tidy on the streets. Our company works hard to be great community members. Tomorrow we have a safe riding workshop with Easy Ride, where we'll be getting people on scooters and teaching them the rules of the road and how to ride. We hope to hold more events throughout the city through the year with Easy Ride focused on sensitive areas around Ocean Avenue, Cookman Avenue, and connecting with lower income residents. My team and I are actively engaging with riders when we see poor riding behavior, and work with customer service team to issue warnings and suspensions whenever appropriate. We have great pride in our work and are committed to being good stewards of the public right of way. Now I'd like to offer some comments on our proposal to extend our operating curfew. As you know, in both 2021 and 2022, Asbury Park allowed Super Pedestrian to extend service till midnight during the See Here Now Music Festival. In these extended windows across 6 days, we served over 8,000 trips with no reported safety issues. In 2022, the city approved the extension of the standard curfew from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., and we have not experienced any significant increases in incidents related to this extension either. Currently, our 10 p.m. curfew reduces the ability of residents and visitors to rely on alternative transportation. For example, our service typically ends before concerts, venues like the Stone Pony, House of Independence are finished. This encourages patrons to take rideshare, putting more pressure on limited downtown parking and waterfront parking, and adding to congestion with idling vehicles. As we've seen during See Here Now, our scooters allow travelers to eliminate the use of car or make the use of parking further away from the city center or waterfront and finish their last mile with alternative transportation. Finally, we want to share that our engineering team is working right now to make sure that all rides will come to a complete hard stop shortly after curfew. I can provide you more information on this as needed. Given the success of our pilot curfew extensions and commitments we've made to continued investment in the program here in Asbury Park, we hope the council will support in extending our curfew by 1 more hour this year to 11 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion to close?
Move to close. Okay. We got a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Public participation portion is now closed. We are now on to the minutes. I have the Municipal Council Executive Meeting Minutes and regular meeting minutes of May 24th. Do I have a motion?
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn has left the room. Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We are now on to consent agenda resolutions. All matters listed on the consent agenda are presented collectively to City Council and will be considered for approval with one vote. These matters are considered to be routine in nature, and there will be no individual discussion of these items. If discussion is desired by one or more council members as to any particular item, then said item shall be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. On consent agenda tonight, we have resolutions 2023-260 through 2023-295. Do I have a motion for consent?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn has left the room. Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We are now on to individual resolutions. Resolution 2023-296, a resolution approving payment of bills.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn has left the room. Mayor Moore.
No.
Resolution 2023-297, a resolution authorizing the purchase of an evidential breath test system for the police department.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn has left the room. Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-298, a resolution authorizing the purchase of parts and materials needed for repairs to the Elgin Street Sweeper.
Move it.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn has left the room. Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-299, resolution authorizing the purchase of replacement valves needed at the wastewater treatment plant.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn, we are voting on a resolution authorizing the purchase of replacement valves needed at the wastewater treatment plant.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-300, resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of ADA-approved railing at the Transportation Center.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-301, a resolution authorizing the purchase of a dumpster for the wastewater treatment plant.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-302, a resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of thickener return pipe at the sewer plant.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-303, a resolution authorizing the repairs of influent pump number 2 at the sewer plant.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-304, resolution approving change order number 1 for 2023 pavement and sidewalk improvements project.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-305, a resolution approving change order number 1 for Memorial Drive sanitary sewer improvements.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton. Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes, and just so everybody knows, those 3 change orders were for a total of $0.
Resolution 2023-306, resolution approving change order 2 and 3 for Memorial Drive improvements project.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-307, a resolution approving change order number 3 for Asbury and Ridge Avenue traffic signal improvements.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-308, resolution authorizing hardware and software support renewals for citywide network infrastructure.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-309, a resolution authorizing a professional services contract to the Rogers Group, Lexipol, for police training.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
No.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
No.
Mayor Moore.
No.
Resolution 2023-310, a resolution awarding a contract for professional service of analysis of impediments to fair housing choice.
Move it.
Second?
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-311, resolution authorizing the award of a contract for the rideshare program concession.
Move it.
Second?
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes, and Donna, we'll do a nice press release with this, right?
Oh, absolutely, Mayor.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
James is firming everything up and we'll.
Good,
Yep,
fantastic, thank you.
absolutely.
This is what we just voted on is very good for Asbury Park, thank you.
Resolution 2023-312, a resolution awarding bid for oxygen generating system for the fire department.
Move it?
Second?
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-313, resolution awarding a bid for Kennedy Park improvements.
Move it.
Second?
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-314, a resolution authorizing the City of Asbury Park to execute a memorandum of understanding with Coastal Habitat for Humanity for the purpose of utilizing the vacant lot located at 1407 Madison Avenue as a community garden.
Move it.
Second?
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-315, a resolution authorizing and/or ratifying the execution of a hold harmless and indemnification agreement with the Township of Ocean Board of Fire Commissioners, Fire District 2, relating to the temporary use of an ambulance owned by the City of Asbury Park.
Move it. Second?
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-316, a resolution extending the time period for the CCRB Exploratory Committee to complete its work.
Move it?
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution appointing members to the Rent Leveling Board. The appointees would be regular member Josh Starner with a term to expire December 31st, 2024, and alternate number 2 member Samantha Werner with a term to expire December 31st, 2023. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second?
Second. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're now on to ordinances for introduction. I have 2023-24 bond ordinance, amending and supplementing bond ordinance number 2021-36, which provides for various 2021 capital improvements heretofore finally adopted by the City Council of the City of Asbury Park and the County of Monmouth and the State of New Jersey on January 26, 2022, as amended and supplemented to increase the appropriation by $165,000 with a public hearing date of June 28, 2023.
Move it?
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're now on to second reading, public hearing of ordinances. Have ordinance 2023-15, ordinance of the City of Asbury Park, amending and supplementing section 410 entitled Permits for Special Events of Chapter 4, General Licensing of the Code of the City of Asbury Park.
Move it.
We're going to do a public hearing. Can someone provide an overview on?
Sure. Yeah, this is just an ordinance that's amending our special events ordinance that we have in place for the city.
Thank you. My motion to open up the public hearing on ordinance 2023-15.
Move to open?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Public hearing on ordinance 2023-15 is open. Any member of the public who wishes to make a comment on ordinance 2023-15 only, please use the microphone. State your name and address for the record.
I'm not explaining it.
This is the ordinance, Rita, that manages the way that special events are approved within the city and the fees that are charged with them.
And what are they? Can we, I mean.
Would you like me to read the ordinance for you? What was
Well,
it?
you can.
Well, it's about 8 pages. What specifically do you have a
The
question
fees?
about?
What changed with the fees?
What changed with the fees specifically?
I mean, none of most of them increased, right?
Yeah, it's just for the rentals of parks. For example, like one park was $100, now it's $250 to rent the park. So these are the fees that people pay to use our facilities. And also the rates of our staff to work these for public works, their rates have increased as well. So whoever comes in to do a special event, they have to pay these fees to the city in order to use our properties.
What about the tables on Cookman?
The tables
Is that
on
in Cook?
Cookman, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
They pay a fee. The ones
Oh, okay,
outside.
so that's a mercantile license, that's something totally
No,
different?
not a mercantile. The tables that are outside.
Sidewalk cafe.
The cafe licenses, yes,
Yes.
that's not under special events. They each year apply to the clerk's office, and they pay a fee based on the spaces that they're using. That's not part of this ordinance, so I can't talk about it now.
So it's the change of fees, which is good.
Yep.
They rip up all the grass. And what was the other one? The other consideration?
It was fees that are paid to staff and fees for them to use the facilities.
Why, the staff gets an extra fee?
No, so for example, if there's an event at Springwood Park and they need the Public Works to come work on that weekend to pick up the trash, the vendor pays them to come do it, so it's not coming out of the taxpayers' dollars.
Okay. That's good to know.
Okay.
Seeing everybody else, motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on ordinance 2023-15 is now closed. Motion to adopt ordinance 2023-15.
Move to adopt?
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're now on to ordinance 2023-21, ordinance of the City of Asbury Park amending Chapter 7 of the Code of the City of Asbury Park regarding traffic regulations to designate Sunset Drive one-way.
This is an ordinance designating Sunset Drive one-way as recommended by the Parking Committee.
Thank you. Motion to open up the public hearing on ordinance 2023-21.
Move to open?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ordinance 2023-21 public hearing is now open. Any member wishes to speak?
Motion to close?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on ordinance 2023-21 is now closed. Motion to adopt ordinance 2023-21.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
No.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're now into ordinance 2023-22. Ordinance authorizing the City of Asbury Park to convey an easement over certain portions of the public right-of-way, area adjacent to property located at 521 Lake Avenue, Block 3105, Lot 4.02, formerly known as 545 Lake Avenue, Block 3105, Lot 4.
This is an easement for the property at 521 that's encroaching on public right-of-way, and for this encroachment, they're paying the City of Asbury Park $300,000.
Thank you. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2023-22?
Move to open?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public hearing on ordinance 2023-22 is now open. Any member of the public wish to speak?
Is that a privately owned building?
Yeah, this is the new building, Rita, right next to Moonstruck, the Sackman building, and they've encroached on our city property, so they're paying us for their encroachment. Okay?
Motion to close?
Move to close.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on ordinance 2023-22 is now closed. Motion to adopt ordinance 2023-22.
Move it.
To adopt.
I have a
Second.
yes, thank you. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
No.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're now into ordinance 2023-23. Ordinance of the City of Asbury Park amending and supplementing Chapter 8 entitled Taxi Cabs, Liveries, and Valet Parking. May I have a motion to open up the public hearing on ordinance 2023-23?
Move it.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on ordinance 2023-23 is now open. Any members of the public wish to speak?
Did you want me to give a brief?
Oh, I'm sorry, Fred.
Fred's
so-
getting to this one.
The city council previously repealed the provisions dealing with licensure of pedicabs within the city in favor of switching to granting a concession if the city council so chooses. And this ordinance will allow the council at its sole discretion on an annual basis to determine whether it wishes to allow pedicabs to operate within the city as a concession.
Thanks, Fred. Are you getting up, Rita?
What's a pedicab?
It's those little things that ride around on Ocean Ave with like the 5 or 6 people in them, Rita. So we got rid of our ordinance that allows them this way. It allowed for drinking.
The state law, there was a revision to the state law within the last 2 years that says if towns have an ordinance for licensing of pedicabs, that those who are passengers on the pedicabs, and the way the state just defines pedicabs, they can have up to 15 seats for passengers. And the new state law that went into effect basically says that if a town allows pedicabs to operate, then they must allow the patrons to be able to imbibe alcoholic beverages while they're on the rides. And that was something that didn't sit well with the city of Asbury Park. And so we repealed the pedicab provisions in the city code in favor of doing a concession, which the city has much greater control over. And now the city can choose, if it wishes to, on an annual basis, to put that out to what they call RFP for a concession. But again, it's at the discretion of the council at any given summer season.
Drinking on the pedicab?
Well, this stops it, Rita. This would stop the drinking on the pedicab.
I know, that's good.
Yep.
Not seeing anyone else.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on ordinance 2023-23 is now closed. Motion to adopt ordinance 2023-23.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're now on to a public hearing for the 2023 municipal budget. Our CFO, Joanne Booz, will provide a brief overview.
Very brief.
Thank you. Do you want to give an overview first before we open a public hearing? Or?
No, let's see if there's any questions and
Okay.
then if there's anything.
Motion to open the public hearing on the 2023 municipal budget.
Move to open.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on the 2023 municipal budget is now open. Any members of the public who wish to speak, please use the microphone.
What is it?
The municipal budget.
Yes, I know,
Oh, okay.
the amount,
The total amount?
the total amount.
I will tell you, Rita.
Okay.
Let me find the page.
16.
The total budget's $55,639,505.27.
So it's up what?
It's up about $2.6 million.
And why is it up?
We had a lot of increases in things we have no control over. Our pensions, our utilities, our health benefits were up over 20%.
And that's why it went up 2 million?
Yes.
Out of a $55 million budget, so it's not a great increase at all. It's minimal. It's just cost of living.
Uh-huh. Too bad we don't get that. And you're talking about.
Well, the
2
value of
million.
your house has increased, so you got that.
Yeah, wow. Okay. When you do the pensions, is it separate from the health plan?
Yes, that's a separate calculation done by the state of New Jersey.
Uh-huh. And what is that? How much percentage is that?
As far as what, the dollar amount or how much it increased?
whatever, whichever way you do it.
Second page.
Our, here, let me find it in here. The PERS retirement system went from $1,060,000 in '22 to $1,185,000, went up $125,000. For the PFRS, which is police and fire, it went up $505,000 in 1 year.
And that's mandated by the state. We have no control over it.
I know that, but if you hired part-time, you wouldn't have to pay any
No,
of that.
they contribute. Okay, thank you.
Well, you should start that.
Okay. Is there any questions from council for Joanne?
No, but I'd like to thank Joanne, her staff, and the city manager for going through the budget process and coming up with a budget with a very small increase, and the first increase in several years. So we've been trying to hold it, again, with the state health benefit plans going up over 20% for municipalities and counties, but not state workers, was totally unjust, but that's what happened. Again, police and fire pension went up $500,000, so there's like 1 million of the 2 million. So the budget is, and they worked hard, and believe me, at one point it was a lot higher, and they did get it down. I appreciate that, and thank you all for your good work.
Motion to close the public hearing on the 2023 municipal budget?
Move it.
To close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Public hearing now closed. Before we move on to our resolution to adopt the municipal budget, we have Resolution 2023-318, which is a resolution to amend the 2023 calendar year budget. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-319, resolution to adopt the 2023 municipal budget.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
If no one has anything else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Meeting now adjourned.
Thank you.